Shut up.
Nancy Pelosi just told a reporter to shut up. But was she hiding her own role in January 6th? I'm LanceThePI, former law enforcement, now private investigator. I've seen how command decisions can make or break a crisis, and this situation has all the signs of something deeper than what we've been told. So here's what went down. A reporter from Lindell TV, yes, that's Lindell TV, approached Nancy Pelosi outside the U.S. Capitol. She asked her a direct question. Did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th? Instead of answering, she snapped, "Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard." Then she accused the reporter of pushing Republican talking points. That exchange blew up online in minutes. People on both sides of the political aisle started arguing again over who's to blame for the delay in sending troops to the Capitol that day. I know who I choose to accuse of blaming. Who do you choose to blame in it? Now, Pelosi's version of events is simple. She says President Trump failed to act. Yeah, right. According to her, the delay wasn't her fault. It was his. But that's not what the former Capitol Police Chief, Stephen Sund, remembers. Sund has said publicly and repeatedly that he requested National Guard support days before January 6th. He says he warned about possible unrest as early as January 3rd. But those requests were rejected by the House Sergeant at Arms, who, by the way, answers directly to Pelosi. Then when the riot began, Sund says he made multiple urgent requests for backup. But again, he says that Sergeant at Arms told him it had to go up the chain of command. Translation, it needed Pelosi's approval. Sund says that approval took more than 70 minutes. That's over an hour of chaos while officers were getting overrun, the Capitol was being breached, and help was waiting on paperwork. As someone who's worked in law enforcement, I can tell you, when you've got an emergency like that, 70 minutes is an eternity. Backup should already be rolling the second an incident like that starts. And the fact that those requests were delayed makes you wonder, was this hesitation about logistics or optics? Reports at the time suggested that leaders were worried about how it would look to have troops around the Capitol, especially after the criticism of heavy security during the 2020 protests. But that's a political decision, not a safety one. And that's where the real issue lies. You've got frontline officers in danger, begging for help, while political staff debate how it might appear on TV. That's not leadership. That's spin control. Pelosi can say Trump was responsible all she wants, but the timeline and the chain of command don't lie. Her sergeant at arms had the authority to call for backup, and he didn't. Now Pelosi's defenders argue that she doesn't control the National Guards. That's technically true. Only the president can give that order. But let's be real. The Capitol Police Board, which approves National Guard requests, include the House and Senate Sergeant at Arms, and they answer to congressional leadership. So no, Pelosi didn't have a red button to deploy troops, but she absolutely had influence over the people who could approve the request. And according to Sund, those were the people holding things up. There's also footage from later that day when Pelosi is seen on camera saying, "We're calling the guard now. It should have been here to start out." That's her own words. So how can you say you had no control, but you also admit the guard should have already been there? It doesn't add up. Now, this isn't about Pelosi or Trump. It's about accountability. The public has a right to know who failed to act when lives were on the line. Was it politics, confusion, or just plain incompetence? The investigations have dragged on for years, and the truth still feels buried under layers of spin. And here's the thing. When people in power lash out at questions like Pelosi did, that's usually a tell. When you've got nothing to hide, you don't snap at a reporter. You give facts. You show receipts. You welcome the chance to clear your name. Instead, she told her to shut up. That's not how innocent people handle scrutiny. That's how cornered people react. So let's look at the big picture. Pelosi says Trump caused the delay. Sund says her office caused it. The records show confusion, hesitation, and failure at multiple levels. And while they argue over who's to blame, the men and women on the front line that day were left out to dry. What do you think? Was Pelosi caught off guard or caught covering up? Should the blame fall on her leadership, or did Trump really hold up the order? I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't just scroll past. Share this video if you think the truth shouldn't depend on who's wearing the party badge. Follow for more investigative breakdowns from a PI's point of view, and let's keep asking the questions they don't want answered. And make sure you subscribe for more.